Hello guys, what's going on? This is your channel TFD coming back with another video, and today things are getting real interesting. It looks like Candace Parker, the WNBA legend herself, just dropped some revealing words about Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. And the best part about this? It's not some rumor mill stuff, not a he said, she said situation. This is a calm, thoughtful, well-spoken take from one of the most respected voices in women's basketball. Candace didn't come out swinging or start drama like we've seen with other players. Remember when Napheesa Collier went public with her frustrations and suddenly the whole league was in an uproar? Yeah, this is not that. Candace Parker is coming from a place of leadership and experience. And when Candace speaks, you listen. Now, what she said about Cathy Engelbert could have some major implications for the future of the WNBA. From what I'm hearing, I honestly don't think Engelbert will be re-signing when her term is up. And I've got a couple of strong reasons for saying that, which we'll break down in a moment. But that's not all, because Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, has found himself in some serious heat over how the WNBA is being managed. There are even whispers online asking, are they faking ratings? I don't know about that one, but the numbers and decisions are definitely raising eyebrows. So for this one, guys, we're going all the way up to Indy, diving into Candace Parker's comments, Cathy Engelbert's next move, and the future direction of the league. Stay tuned. This one's going to get good.
Adam Silver is Cathy's boss, and he is the commissioner of the NBA.
Yep.
He made a statement a couple days ago in New York regarding that, essentially paraphrasing that it's not about business. It's not about viewership. It's, at this point, seems like there's relationship issues, to say the least. My initial thoughts, because everybody's had this same sentiment, and for a very long time. But in years past, you've been able to point to the viewership. You've been able to point to the fans. You've been able to point to, maybe the talent on the floor, because we are going overseas for a number of, months during the season.
Yep.
This year you couldn't. The year before you couldn't. And honestly, previously, I think that was a little bit of a cop-out.
All right, let me just point something out real quick. I know most of y'all already see it, but man, after everything that's gone down these last couple years, it still gets under my skin every single time. If all that drama and nonsense hadn't happened, this wouldn't even cross my mind. But let's be real here. Those sky-high viewership numbers, yeah, that's because of one person and one person only. That young lady from Iowa, Miss Caitlin Clark. I'm just saying, give credit where it's due.
Yeah.
You could point to the business plan, but where is the business plan? It starts with leadership. I'm always a believer in alignment. I think the NBA were led through huge years by David Stern. And he was a commissioner that could get you there.
Yeah.
In terms of get you over the hump, get you to growth. But I think for now, relationships matter. And I don't know if he had great relationships with a number of the players. He was seen more so as, I know they were scrutiny behind some of the fines, some of the dress codes, all of those things that kind of came down on the players. I personally had a great relationship with David Stern, so this is in no way knocking him.
So before she keeps going any further, I just want to jump in and add something to that real quick. From everything I've seen and read over the years, David Stern was, if not the greatest, absolutely one of the greatest commissioners in major sports history. The man completely transformed the NBA, taking it from a struggling league in the early days to a global powerhouse by the 90s. He understood marketing, branding, and how to build stars better than anyone else in sports at that time. Now, she mentioned the dress code, and I won't dive too deep into that because that's not the main focus here. But things like that did matter. It showed that Stern had a vision for how he wanted the league to be represented. Everything I've ever heard about him from players, coaches, and insiders, nobody ever really had serious issues with him personally. Even if some players didn't love the stricter rules or image policies, they respected what he was trying to do. And that's the big difference. Players might not have always liked David Stern's rules, but they respected his leadership and what he did for the game. He was always about protecting the image, the growth, and the credibility of the league. Honestly, when you look at the commissioners we have today across sports, whether it's Adam Silver, Rob Manfred, or Roger Goodell, none of them even come close to David Stern's level of control, influence, and long-term vision. He set a gold standard for leadership that we may never see again in professional sports. So yeah, shout out to David Stern, man, the legend who made the NBA what it is today.
But I do think Adam is leading in a different way. And I say that if the NBA is our blueprint, then we have to look at that from top to bottom. We can't just choose what we look at that as. And I'll tell you this. I signed a deal with Amazon to broadcast for Amazon. I got a text from Adam Silver saying, congratulations. I had my third child. I got a text from Adam Silver about my third child. Now, whether this is Adam or his assistant, somebody from the league office is reaching out to me. I got a baby gift for my third child. I get a Christmas gift from Adam Silver every year. I retired. Adam Silver sent me a text message that basically congratulated me on my career and how much I've done for the women's game. And he looked forward to how much I'm going to do from the sideline. I have not heard from Cathy. I saw Cathy in Phoenix after I had been retired for 4 months at Phoenix All-Star Game. And she said, congratulations in person. And that was the only time. And so you've heard other players, Sabrina Ionescu alluded to this. I have a better relationship with Adam Silver than I do Cathy. Same thing. Elena Delle Donne, I didn't hear from Cathy when I retired. My 2 jersey retirements, there was no Cathy.
Yeah.
So I think that Adam Silver understands the process. I don't know if he understood that Cathy was not doing that either.
Very, very interesting stuff here, guys. Now, let me just say this, and this is not a shot at Adam Silver, which I'll explain in a moment. Most likely, that kind of behind-the-scenes stuff isn't directly coming from him. It might be, sure, but someone in a position like his, running both the NBA and overseeing the WNBA, is constantly dealing with an enormous number of players, executives, and business matters. There's only so much one person can personally keep track of. But here's the thing. That still says a lot about Adam Silver as a leader, because one of the smartest and most important things truly successful people do is they surround themselves with great people. Strong leaders have strong teams. And this is where the problem may also lie for Cathy Engelbert. If she's not personally on top of things, someone under her should be. Someone should be making sure communications are happening, that things are being handled properly, that messages are being sent out on her behalf. If that's not happening, that's a serious issue, and Candace Parker kind of alluded to that in her comments. Cathy might not even know what's slipping through the cracks. Now, it's interesting because I just gave a ton of praise to David Stern, who was an absolute giant of leadership. He handpicked Adam Silver as his successor. And yet, under Adam, the NBA has seen some major ratings declines. To be fair, things have leveled out over the past couple of years. 2025 numbers actually looked solid. But when you compare today's NBA to the league's global peak in the 1990s and early 2000s, it's clear things aren't quite the same. Sure, you can point to the explosion of competing sports, streaming platforms, fragmented audiences, even MMA, all true. But when your population's growing, viewership should at least keep pace. And here's where it connects back to Cathy Engelbert. Despite all the noise, Adam Silver has not indicated that Cathy is leaving anytime soon. In fact, his recent comments almost sound like a vote of confidence. He talked about how important relationships are, admitting that the WNBA is going through growing pains. That's fair. The league has experienced historic growth under Cathy's leadership. 6 years of massive exposure, new fans, and expanding brand value. But Adam also hinted that things have become too personal, meaning the friction between players and the league office is boiling over. Now, this is where players like Nafisa Kalir enter the picture. They've seen what Caitlin Clark-Kent has done for the league, how one player can completely shift the WNBA's visibility and influence. So now, everyone wants a piece of that. Everyone wants leverage in the upcoming CBA negotiations. But when emotions get involved, professionalism often goes out the window, and private conversations suddenly get aired out publicly. And honestly, Fee, if Cathy Engelbert really said what you claimed, why did she feel comfortable saying that to you in private in the first place? That's worth asking. At the end of the day, Adam Silver may have his frustrations, but forcing Cathy out before a major CBA negotiation would be a disaster for the league. You need stability going into something that defines your long-term future. So while there are cracks showing, and yes, plenty of egos clashing, for now, Cathy Engelbert's seat looks safe.
Now, the WNBA is standing at a crossroads. Either it's about to experience major growth or hit a major wall. And let me be real with you, it's starting to look like that Caitlin Clark hype train is slowing down. Cathy Engelbert and the league's management, they're honestly tearing this thing apart from the inside. Because if we're being honest, none of this chaos had to happen. If the WNBA leadership had managed things the right way from the jump, we wouldn't be in this mess. Caitlin Clark would have been at the Olympics representing the country, the refs would have been held accountable, and fans wouldn't feel this growing disconnect from the product on the court. But let's get into what really got everyone talking. That recent interview Adam Silver just did on NBC. Yeah, that one. Because this interview has stirred up some major waves around the league. It's not just his comments, it's the energy behind them. The WNBA community is feeling divided again, and this is coming right when the league can't afford more division. Now, let's be honest, those finals ratings, they're looking spooky. It's like the league thinks they don't need Caitlin Clark anymore, that her impact has run its course. But anyone paying attention knows that's far from true. She's the reason casual fans started watching again. Anyway, I want to show y'all this clip. I came across it online, shout out to the creator, Gabatron. She really broke it down and reacted perfectly to this whole situation. So let's take a listen, because right now, the WNBA's direction and Adam Silver's words are looking real questionable.
You can choose to sell your team in your same market. You can't choose to sell your team to a different market, and that's where it stands right now.
Hartford is in the market.
No, it's not.
So you're probably wondering how I ended up here. I've been following the potential sale of the Connecticut Sun for months now. And one of the biggest questions is if the team has a buyer willing to move them to Hartford, which they do, why does the league not only not want them to move to Hartford, but how can they block it?
The marketing region is different. A team only has the right to play in the market they're in. That would be like saying that the Brooklyn Nets could move to Manhattan because it's in the market. Obviously, it's in the market, but only the league can move a team.
So it's semantics.
No, that's not semantics. I don't think that's semantics to say that the Brooklyn Nets could not move to Manhattan because they're allowed to market in Manhattan. It's a different market.
It is semantics, because very recently, we saw the New York Liberty move from Manhattan to Westchester and then to Brooklyn with little issue. This also wasn't an issue when the Brooklyn Nets moved from New Jersey to Brooklyn. So what it comes down to is the league's definition of market, which is completely up to them.
I think there's confusion. The territory in which a team can market itself is different than a team moving to a different area. And the Mohegan Sun do not have the right to move the team. No team has the right to move NBA or WNBA. That's a decision from their partners at the league. So that's not on the table right now, them moving the team. But if they wanted to sell their team to somebody else to play in their arena, that would absolutely be their right.
If I'm hearing this correctly, the market is both the 75-mile radius where a team is allowed to market their product in, but their market is also only their home arena in which the Mohegan Tribe is allowed to sell and have somebody else come in and play and own the team in there, but they can play in the arena. So what it comes down to, is the league really that hell-bent on getting it to a city that was next in line in the expansion process, that they would rather hamstring themselves and essentially force the team to stay in Uncasville. And the only reason that this really is a conversation is because the Mohegan tribe has loyalty to Connecticut, and despite wanting to sell the team, wants to do their best to at least keep the team in New England. Basically, it's in the league's hands, but they're kind of showing their hand right now.
But shout out to her, man. This current interview right here got Adam Silver and Worlds of Hoops. I can't even pronounce it right, but shout out to her, man. This thing is blowing up online right now. And it's wild because it's got everybody talking. Now, moving on to another story, man. We got to get into this right here. WNBA Finals Game 1 viewership over the past decade. Mike hit me up like, so you mean to tell me they changed the way they calculate TV ratings now, bruh? How are you supposed to compare year over year if the system keeps changing? A lot of folks online started noticing the same thing. The highlighted section below showed that Nielsen didn't even start including out-of-home viewing until 2020, and they didn't fully implement that in all markets until 2025. Now, the 2025 figures, they're Nielsen big data plus panel. Everything before they, panel only. So when you line it up from 2015 to 2025, that growth chart looks a little suspicious. Like, come on now, out of nowhere, this massive spike just appears in 2025. Man, it's looking spooky, real spooky in my book. And people in the comments aren't buying it either. Some are saying all these numbers are inflated going forward, or no way they really hit 2 million viewers. Those numbers are cooked. Others are pointing out that the headlines keep twisting the story, and the only real difference maker between years is Caitlin Clark. Exactly what I've been telling y'all all along. They're trying to rewrite the story. They're trying to downplay Caitlin's impact like she wasn't the one who carried this league to new heights. Whether they admit it or not, Caitlin Clark is the reason the WNBA even has this spike. And it's crazy how they're already trying to erase her from her own success story. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Appreciate it. As always, do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel.